Well, good morning. Long time no see. Hey, you know, out of all the videos I've posted so far this year, the one that saw the biggest response was the one about the ZCIs, how to make a zero clearance insert for your Shopsmith. Do you know that thing saw over 4,000 views in less than 4 days? And it's still seeing views. Lots of really nice comments about that video. Of course, I appreciate those. There were also a lot of requests, and I mean a lot of requests, for me to show you how to make a ZCI for your bandsaw. So I'm going to do that for you here today. When we're done, I'm going to show you the progress on the big camper van build. I've been working on that in earnest, mostly because we haven't really had that many nice days up until recent. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. Understand there's two different, most of you know this, tables on a Shopsmith. We got the original cast iron table, and then the larger table. A lot of people call it an upgrade table. That's one I've been using for, well, must be what, 20-some years. I like the bigger table because it offers more advantages than the old cast iron table. So I'm going to make an insert, ZCI insert, for that particular bandsaw table. Even the insert itself on that, in fact, has some interesting features that I've never seen on any other bandsaw. It is an awful nice day out here today, so I rolled the Mark IV out. We'll try and put this ZCI for the bandsaw table together out here. So there's our insert. Fairly easy to get out. Just a matter of getting underneath the table here and pushing up. Should pop right out. Now take a good look at this. Can you see that all right? These little rivets, I guess you'd call them, they actually hold on the back side these two clips. That's actually what keeps the insert positioned firmly into the table itself. These four holes are actually very critical to this insert. It's going to be critical to our ZCI insert too. If you want to take a look inside here, up close, those holes line up with these little tiny Phillips screws. What those are, well, number one, they're adjustable. That allows you to align your insert perfectly flat and flush to the table itself. We're, of course, going to need some material close to the thickness of the insert itself. And this is about as close to an 1/8 inch thick as you can get. I just happen to have some scrap Baltic birch here. It's supposed to be 1/8 inch, but it's just not quite as thick as an 1/8 inch. But that's actually okay. I'll show you why that is here when we get this done. So the first thing I want to make sure of is that I have a piece that has at least one corner that's nice and square. And everything we're going to do is going to be based off of that square corner. So this one looks pretty good. Can you see that all right? That's good and square. Once we know we've got at least one square corner of our material, just like we did on the table saw insert, I'll use the actual bandsaw one as a template. Just draw this out. First the diameter, and definitely, don't forget this, mark these four hole positions. And this particular part of the insert itself. This particular part of the insert itself is going to require a real sharp, tiny way to get in there and mark that. Because this cutout is so narrow, your pencil probably not going to get in there. I tried even a center punch, that was too thick. So now I'm just going to scribe each edge of the cutout here, the slot, just using my carpet knife. Just make it so I can see it. So you can see my scratched in scribes there. Now, just a matter of drawing a line in between those two. Get that dead on. This is a 5/32 drill bit. I think that should work perfect. This is what we'll use. So I'm going to go ahead and put my insert back in here so we can make our cut. But I think I want to cut this down to size first a little bit, so let me set up a makeshift straight edge fence, whatever you want to call it here. Trim this down to size a little bit, make it more manageable. So I got her trimmed down a bit. Now, a very important cut. Readjust my straight edge here to make the actual cut for the saw blade to pass through. Double check it. Looks like we should be dead on. Here we go. So that looks pretty good. I think I'll rough cut the round, then set up the, since I got the bandsaw set up, then I'll set up the drill press and drill our holes. We're about done. You don't have to get this real close. Of course, the closer you do get, the less sanding you'll have to do. But this has to be fitted real well. But most of that will be done, like I say, on the sander. So I'm going to take my time with the disc sander here. I'm going to take very little off in single passes, because like I say, you want this to really fit as closely as you can possibly get it. I'm taking really light passes here. Take your time. Dry fit this here, and I'll be honest with you, I took about 6 or 7 tries to get this, or not tries, but passes on the disc sander, to get that to fit dead on. And one thing else you want to check is your alignment with your cut and the blade itself. So just by hand, I'm going to move the blade. It's not too bad, but I think what I'm going to do is take a piece of 220 grit sandpaper, real fine, and just open that up just a little bit on each side. Let's reverse that. Shouldn't take a whole lot. Let's try it again. Nice fit. So let's take the Mark IV and we'll convert it into the drill press. So the likelihood of getting your holes that you drilled in your insert to line perfectly with these leveling screws is going to be kind of tricky. So what you want to do is make sure they're all the way down. Line up one of your holes with the screws. I'm going to start with the front. I'm going to push the insert all the way down. Now I'm just below the surface of the table. So using the set screw, or the screw, I'm going to back this out. And there's a lot of play. Oh yeah. You can dial in that flatness perfectly. If you're not lined up, what you want to do next, pop your insert, go to your next screw, get it lined up with the slots on that screw, and do the same thing. See, I'm way below the surface of the table here. Can you see that all right? See if I can bring that in a little closer for you. Got a shadow, that's not helping. But you can see I'm well below. But by simply turning that tiny Phillips screw, you see what's happening there? I'm raising the edge of this, dead on. Once you've done that one, line up the next one. I'm going to do this back one here. Push it all the way down. See, I'm below the surface of the table. Same routine. Back this out. Oh yeah. Flat and flush. Once you've adjusted those height leveling screws all the way around, you can push as hard as you want. This isn't going anywhere and it's staying nice and flush. There's your ZCI for your bandsaw. Simple project, but a fun one. But there really is a lot of things you can make for your Shopsmith to make your next projects go simpler and easier. I think I've covered ZCIs pretty well now, both on the table saw and now the bandsaw. Hope you found that useful. As promised, I told you I'd show you the progress made on the camper van. Not a whole lot, but noticeable. Let's open this up here. The first thing I did when we had 2 days without rain is I installed my Max Air fan. That's a DC operated fan, it's got 10 speeds on it. It's supposed to help a whole lot. You can also see I've completely insulated the ceiling, the roof. I've added my struts for the ceiling that I'll be installing. And I'm about done with the rest of the insulation on the side walls. Once the insulation's up, I'm going to wrap that with a radiant barrier called Reflectix. And then the real trick is to do the framing on these walls. I'm going to, of course, make that a wall itself too, the crash cage there. That'll just look like a really nice wall. Be a cabinet going in the far corner that's going to house my refrigerator. Another little secret piece I'll show you later on down there. This will have a really nice looking sofa that actually slides out to a almost a full-size twin size bed. Then there'll be a galley here. We'll have microwave. It's going to have running water. I will have, I think, a TV mounted on that back wall too. So there's some progress being made. You want to keep watching YouTube and see how we go from here. In the meantime, keep doing your woodworking. Summertime's a great time for that. I'll talk to you all later.